We all make excuses and we can all justify them. But when we do that, we end up living short of our potential.
And in retirement, when we have more time, maybe not the same energy as we did during our career, these excuses just flow out of our mouth so easily.
But a retirement spent living with excuses can be the difference between success and failure for the next 30 years, happiness and sadness for the next 30 years, or even excitement and boredom for the next 30 years.
So today we're going to share with you 6 common excuses that people use over and over again in retirement. And then at the end, we're going to share with you our strategy to end the bad habit of using excuses.
So these excuses we're going to share with you are common ones we hear from our clients all the time that we've aggregated up for you. But before we get to that, I'll tell you some of my prime excuses. For the longest time when I was working and when we first retired, I needed to lose a little bit of weight, but I always had an excuse. It wasn't the right time. We were going out to dinner. I was entertaining clients. I didn't have time to work out.
You opened another bottle of wine.
I didn't mind drinking the wine. We were traveling. It was like I really made excuses.
We both skipped going to the gym a lot because we were too busy.
But I will tell you, once I started to analyze the types of excuses I was making and why I was making them, and weighed that, actually, against what I really wanted to accomplish, all the excuses melted away.
They did. And this January, after coming out of COVID for a year, this January, and you didn't really make a big deal out of it, but you just started to change your behavior.
Well, I didn't make a big deal about the number.
Right.
Everybody says, well, how much weight do you want to lose? I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to feel better. So I actually created a goal that I couldn't spend a lot of time pumping up with excuses.
No, but it was diet, it was exercise, it was consistency in those 2 areas, and it was weighing yourself every week. And every week you owed to report to me how you did. And, after 6 months, 34 pounds.
Wait a second. Every week I didn't owe a report to you.
I didn't say, you gave me a report.
I did not every week give you a report.
Well,
That's crazy town.
All right. Well, then she never gave me a report, but somehow in 6 months, Jody lost 34 pounds. And I had no idea till one day I woke up yesterday and said, oh my God, you've lost 34 pounds.
So interesting. He had no idea, but originally he thought I was explaining it to him. What the heck?
All right.
Anyway, let's talk about
It's a good story with a good outcome, and you eliminated excuses, which really is what we want to talk about today.
But it really gave me time to reflect on why do we make excuses?
Well, we make excuses because we're afraid of failure. We're fearful of embarrassment and fear of change. It's hard. No one wants to fail, right? But that's why we make excuses, because I don't want to do that because I don't want to fail.
And you also don't, like you said, the embarrassment or the change. For me, I'm a people pleaser. So if I decided I wasn't drinking or eating that or going out to dinner as much or maybe not being as social because I was working out, that was a big change.
Right.
And I kind of feared that. There's also the fear of responsibility, if you think about it. When you let go of excuses, and the reason that you're making them is because you're afraid to be responsible for the ultimate outcome.
Right.
And that leads to kind of the fear of uncertainty
Right.
as well. So as we look back through our clients and we figured out what types of excuses do retirees really make over and over again, we came up with a good list.
Yeah. First one, not enough time. And it's funny because we never had time during our careers. We didn't. You don't. I mean, I'm sure you too, right? But now in retirement, I'm sure you have more time.
But that excuse comes up for our retirees because it's the one you used for 30 years of working,
and
right?
It's easy.
Yeah.
It instantly said, you know what? I don't have enough time. I hear that all the time from people. I don't have time. I'm busy all day long. So with time affluence, when you went from a 40-plus hour work week to a 0-hour work week, we have time and you have time.
It's funny though, that really hits the heart of priority setting.
What?
So if you, the not
No
enough
time?
time,
Yeah.
yeah. So you really,
It's an easy way out.
It is an easy way out. But if you have a goal that's really meaningful to you,
Right.
not enough time is really a cop
Right.
out. The second one that we hear from a bunch of retirees is, there's not enough money to do what I want to do,
Right.
to do it the way I want to do it, whatever the goal is. So we'll stick with the working out goal. Somebody said to me, I can't work out, and I can't get healthier because I don't have enough money to go to the gym, and I
Right.
don't want to pay for that. And that is the easy way out of getting out of the gym. You can get creative. You can work out at home. You can do an app. You can walk. You've got body weight that you can use.
Yeah.
At every minute of the day. So it's about getting creative.
I mean, you
around
use
that.
the Peloton a lot.
I do.
I use Freeletics, and I just use body weight, burpees and push-ups and all of that, and it doesn't cost hardly anything.
Right.
We don't really go to the fancy gym like we did during our career. Or like you
true.
said, just walk for 20 or 30
Right.
minutes a day. It'd be amazing. The other thing that we hear, and this is a mindset thing, I'm too old. Well, when you become retired, that's not a date stamp that you're too old. It's
Right.
all in your head. I mean, clearly, as we get older, we start to slow down in certain areas, but you really got to rethink and reimagine yourself and what you can do. You're not too old.
And you really should focus on a longer term goal, right?
Yeah, maybe you're too old to run a marathon next week.
Maybe, or
Maybe
maybe
not, but maybe you need a year to plan
Right.
for it. But
Right.
don't use "I'm too old to run a marathon" to not run a marathon.
Right.
I mean,
right.
a lot of people that are really old run marathons.
And while you're rethinking and imagining and getting out of that mindset of I'm too old, you can also get some help.
You can.
Some friends,
Get a coach.
a coach,
Yeah.
something like that.
A workout buddy, whatever it takes.
One of the other excuses we hear a lot of is, I just don't know how. And that
Yeah, I
trigger,
don't know how to do it. I don't know how to start. All of that.
that trigger is all around confidence. And what that will tell you is if you begin to learn and then you fail and you try again, as long as you're setting some milestones and celebrating along the way, the I don't know excuse kind of falls off your list.
I don't know how. There are so many YouTubes, like this one today, but there's so many YouTubes on so many things. My kids do all the work around their house now watching YouTubes. All electrical, plumbing, whatever it might be. So I think that's a bad excuse. You don't know how. There's an easy way to learn.
Absolutely.
The other thing that we've talked about, I talked about fear in the beginning, but I'm afraid to fail. This can be paralyzing. You don't want to fail, so you just don't do it. Again, this takes a mindset shift, and we talk about mindset shift all the time because it's really core to a lot of what we coach and a lot of what we hope folks. If you've got fear to fail, you can be paralyzed and not move forward. You have to be okay with failure. I mean, the whole idea behind failure is you're learning and you're growing, so you could just try again and keep going.
And when else in your life do you have the time to do that?
Right.
So now would be the time to embrace failure and
Right.
learning
Right.
and move that excuse right off the plate.
Right.
Another one we hear is it's not the right time. So it's not that I don't have time, it's not the right time. And we're here to tell you no time like the present, especially if you're about to retire or recently retired. Now's the time to change your perspective, use those additional 40 hours a week, and discover it's always the right time. If the goal's important to you.
I know. And the other thing that lines up with this is the saying, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start next week. Now, I'm going to do this in January. I'm going to do this in an hour. It's putting it off. The right time is to do it now. And like you said, with the mindset, you can discover that this is the time to do it.
So let's share our strategy with you to just stop making these excuses. Flip your mindset and move forward into action.
And we want you to analyze your go-to excuses. As you go throughout the day and the week, and you're thinking you want to do something, you want to work out, you want to call a friend, you want to go out to lunch with somebody, whatever it might be, start writing down your excuses. And as you look at the excuses, they're going to give you some critical insights to your true feelings. Like, why are you making this excuse?
Right.
Do you really not want to do what it is that you're talking about? Maybe you've got some flaws you need to work on. Clearly, what's going to come to the surface are fears and weaknesses, and they can be overcome.
But if you acknowledge them, write them down, it helps you address them and correct your actions. The other thing you can do is if you catch yourself making excuses, challenge your mindset with these questions. First, how badly do you really want what you're going for? Second, what are the consequences with not moving forward? And then the last one, really challenge yourself on why are you making these excuses?
And what are you willing to do to get it, to achieve this, to reach this goal? Just figure that out. And you might have to make sacrifices. So what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve this goal? And then the last thing is, where do you stand with this as a priority for yourself?
We hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe by clicking the button below.
And also want you to join our free Facebook community. The link is going to be in the notes below. We have a lot more interaction in there, and Jody and I go live every Tuesday at 12:30 and take your questions. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to being with you again.